Hello everybody, welcome to a new video of Jane Speed Shop. If you're new to the channel, have a look in the right corner, you see my logo, you can click on it. And don't forget to look on janespeedshop.com, the link is over here. So it's been about 2 months ago that I made a video, got a little bit busy, all kinds of things. And I made a lot of progress but didn't film it up till this point, so sorry about that. So I'm going to show you some things, how far I am right now. So the engine is not anymore on the stand, it's already back in the car. So the last time I needed to do a few things. So made a bracket for my alternator. So this bracket can be mounted now in a position where now where normally the air conditioning pump is. So that's done. It's fitted, ready for the engine, but it's now off because I made the exhaust manifolds. So I can show you now in the car. So I did a lot of work in this engine bay. So engine is in. So it's of course it's going to be underneath there, but when the engine is out, I will show. So also the steering pump is up because I got more reach. So on this side you can see a little bit of the exhaust manifold. It's a 4-in-1 exhaust manifold. So when the engine is out of the car, I will show you by hand how it looks. But yeah, it's 4-in-1, so it's not equal length, but it's a nice 4-in-1 collector. So I think it's much better. So the pipe diameter is 48 millimeters. So the last manifold that I made was 42 millimeters, but yeah, these exhaust ports are 40.5 millimeters on these M113 heads. So it's much bigger. So I go from 48 millimeters 4 times to 1 times 60. That's outside diameter. Then it's going underneath the car. And then I have on this side, of course, I made the turbo bracket. Bracket is on where normally the alternator was. I really needed that room. So there's coming one pulley on here to simulate the position of the alternator. Already made that, but I'm going to put it on when the engine is out. So everything in here is repositioned. So the other intake exhaust manifold is hard to see, but it's I will show you from the on the side if you go underneath the car. So that's fully in. So it's also going 4-in-1 to 160. Then both 60 millimeter pipes have a flex pipe, and then we'll go from 2 times 60 into the collector into the turbo. That's a 3-inch inlet, so that's 76 millimeters into the turbo housing. The outlet is 3.5 inch or 89 millimeters, and I'm having a fully 4-inch exhaust. So then I have also the bypass, that's the 60 millimeter to the wastegate. So the position is, everything in my opinion is a little bit better. I got a little bit more room everywhere. So I have to take out the big piece of the side panel here. So I'm going to close this, of course, but it's now, so it looks a little bit rough. So I have to take a little bit more out here to have a little bit more clear, because this will be isolated. So of course I left the chassis plate alone. So my original chassis number is still in there. So I left it all like it should, because otherwise you don't have any registration. So I will close it off like it should. Yeah, and then everything. So the exhaust is of course going to be insulated just like the last time I did. I have made this pipe with a double connection over here, because otherwise I cannot get the downpipe out and I cannot remove this piece. So I have an extra coupling over here and here to remove the downpipe, the first section to the turbo, because the last time I had very tight space in here, it's still tight in here, to get to the spark plugs and to the coils. So I want to have a solution for it. So the turbo is moved a little bit more forward, about 2 centimeters, so this spark plug is completely free. So if I remove this pipe, then the rest of the downpipe stays in and I can get to all the spark plugs. Of course you have on temperature in the exhaust, but yeah, so it's of course it is a little bit hot, but it's possible to do, to remove this. So I'm not pretty sure how I'm going to do it, so because these 2 lines So this is the brake line and this is the self-leveling suspension. So these need to be removed and have to be positioned on here somewhere to go in. And then this section will completely be plated off from here. I don't know if I'm going to make a point that I can remove a cover or something in here to get to it. I'm not sure yet. Because on this side I can make this clamp like in a position that I can remove it over here and just remove the clamp. I have to have a look. So the ignition coil section was normally placed in here. I have to have a look how I'm going to do it. So in here was also the tank, the heated, the overflow tank of the cooling fluid, and it was in position with the two valves for your temperature control in the car. So battery was in here, but it was already removed to back of the car, so that's the best thing of it all. So I have to reposition everything in here. But first I want to make the exhaust system work in the car, and then the engine can go out and I can just work in here. So I'm going to put the car on the lift up and I'll show you what I did underneath the car. So underneath the car. So in the earlier video I showed you I had to remove a little bit of here to get this big pipe in there. So this is 60 millimeters going from this exhaust manifold. Now you can see the collector that's in here. So the alternator will be in front of here. And yeah, so it's fully in. I have enough room to put insulation over it, so that will be all perfect. It will also be tight, but with some management that I can put heat management around, it will be much better. So also underneath over here, 60 millimeters to this side. So then we have the different exhaust manifold that's over here. Maybe I can show it a little bit more over here. You can see it over there, the exhaust manifold. Fitment is pretty good. So left bank is coming down here with a pipe up, flex pipe. The other flex pipe is coming from there, and they are in between there going into the turbo, 76 millimeters. So when I get the engine out of the car, it will be much easier to see. So I also changed this pipe a little bit because there is still a 2.5 inch connection to the inlet of the turbo, but I had to rebuild a little bit because it was a little bit more forward. So then the downpipe is coming down. It's pretty big, so 4-inch downpipe. I have a flex piece in here. I didn't have it before, but I wanted to do it now. So got enough space in here. Also for the oil connection of the transmission is still good reachable. I got a connection on top here for the lap descent that's reachable from top of the car. So then we have the 4-inch exhaust connected in the same position. So what I will do, I will insulate it up till this point, and the rest I'll leave blank. I think I'm going to do that. Just the last one was also up till here insulated, and the rest was just open because there's all aluminium plates in here. So yeah, normally I got a muffler in here, but it's not anymore in here. So transmission or to the rear axle, still got room enough. Hanging point here, hanging point over there, the transmission in normal position. Then in the ends around the fuel tank, got enough room, it's all flexible and good. So this is pretty interesting, I think, because I'm going from a 4-inch pipe to a 3-inch intake in the muffler and 3-inch out. So I have a valve over here that I can control electronically. The valve is now off, but it works like that. So I can open this valve and I have 2 times 3-inch outlet of the exhaust. So I'm going to do on the dyno testing if I got more back pressure or lower power numbers if I leave this closed and going through 3-inch out. But the main thing was that I could not find a 4-inch muffler like this here in Europe. It's pretty hard to find them. I think in the United States, when you have big trucks running big exhaust systems. So I think for the tune on just on fuel, normal fuel, 95 octane with some boost, I think the 3-inch outlets are big enough. And then when I'm going to do E85, then I will throw them open, and I have 2 times 3-inch outlet. I don't think I have any problems to get rid of the flow and don't have any pressure in the exhaust, because 4 inch is a pretty big size. So that's what I did up till this point. So yeah, next thing what I'm going to do is get the engine out of the car and then show you how the exhaust is looking. I will mount also the alternator on here and show you everything from over there. So I got everything in. It's pretty good reachable. Everything can be disassembled from when the engine is in a car, so I can remove this exhaust manifold without removing the engine. Also, the other exhaust manifold can go out of the car without removing the engine. So it was a big hassle to get this all done, but it's all yeah, it's all possible. So that was also a main benefit that I want to do. So if I remove the top side of the downpipe, I can still leave this piece in, no problem. So yeah, that's it up till this point. So complete exhaust system is removed. Only the back section is still underneath the car. So that's behind here. So behind the turbo everything is stainless steel. So the downpipe is in combination with the downpipe with return of the wastegate. It's all stainless steel. From the turbo is 3.5 inch, this is 4 inch. And then the downpipe further on is completely 4 inch exhaust up till the muffler, and behind the muffler I showed before, I'm going to back to 3 inch into the muffler, and I got a bypass valve. The biggest reason is because I still want to have some sound deadening in it, and here in Europe I could not find the right size 4 inch muffler. So I want to have an oval muffler that is I don't know how fat it is, but I have to have a look. But if anybody has a solution, I always use MagnaFlow. I got good experience with it, but I could not find the right muffler that I wanted here. So I first do this, and then I can bypass the, I think up till in the normal fuel, use regular pump fuel, I can still go to like 450, 500 horsepower. I don't think I have a restriction in 3 inch. And after that we will see, because I can just open the valve and then I have a 4 inch downpipe, and 2 times 3 inch out is always bigger than 1 4 inch. So I made 2 manifolds, exhaust manifolds of course for both sides. This is the cylinder bank 1, so the left side, and yeah, it's not equal length, but this is 4 on 1. So it took so much time. So 4 in 1. The pipes are 48 millimeters. Some think it's big. You can see that the inner diameter of this pipe is about 42.5. So the outlet port of the engine is 40 millimeters, 14.5, around that number. The AMG heads have a much larger exhaust port. It's like 4 millimeters larger than the normal aspirated versions. So this is all welded up. I need to flatten it. I'm going to do that on this machine. Big sandpaper wheel in it. I'm going to flatten it and then have a look if it's flat enough, and otherwise I will let it done by a machine shop. I think I already did a big part of this. You can see, I hope you can see it by light. This is a little bit darker. The sandpaper did not hit this piece. The rest is all nice and flat, so I have to take a little bit more off. This one is more straight than this one, so what I did, I screwed it down on an H-beam and then welded it. And yeah, I think these ones will stay much straighter than the old ones. They completely warped. And I also made the other ones from just normal steel. So this is not a stainless steel exhaust, because I don't see myself as that good of a welder to don't have any sugaring on the inside. So yeah, and I think the benefit of using stainless steel, I don't see it. Yeah, behind the The turbo, of course, has a longer life, and I think the pipes are thinner and it's more rust resistant. But these pipes are also thicker, of course. This weighs something. I think it weighs like 6 kilos or something, maybe. So you can save some weight on doing it in stainless steel. But yeah, I don't see the benefits because this will never rust through. It's 2 millimeters wall thickness, more than 2 millimeters. So I don't see the benefits. So 2 manifolds, I can dismantle them like this without getting the engine out of the car. I'm going to insulate it with the stainless steel around it, and that you got a 1/2 centimeter thick or 5 or 4 millimeters protection over it. So that's a ceramic wall going over it. And then I'm going to put the stainless steel that's like 0.1 millimeters thick. I have to weld it through it. So I'm going to close these gaps because it's, yeah, otherwise it's too much work to get all there. Also in this, everything in here I will close up with just the regular wool like this. This is also ceramic wool. And then, yeah, I did it before, so there's a few videos back, but you will see it in the next one how I'm going to do it. What I'm also going to do, still need to do, is have to weld some bushings on here with some thread in it, so I can put an EDG sensor in it. I'm going to do it on all cylinders, all 8. Some people think it's overkill. I just have the option in the ECU with 8 EDG inputs, and I just want to make sure that I don't have too much difference in between the cylinders. And it's, yeah, it's there, so I have to spend a little bit of money on the sensors. But I'm now there to do it, and I just want to do it. The same thing with just before the turbo. I'm going to weld on here, so this is just before the turbo. I'm going to weld the nipple on it so I can read out the exhaust back pressure, and then I can compare it with the last time that I think I had too much exhaust back pressure, because I had 1.7 bar in the exhaust when I was running 0.7 bar. So 1 bar over, you say, almost 15 psi more exhaust back pressure than my boost pressure was. So that's pretty high. And I think that's also one of the main reasons I got valve float. I think it was valve float. So also what I did is, so this one is coming from bank, the right bank, so bank 2. And this one is then from bank 1. And 2 flexible pipes in it to make it more, yeah, otherwise you got stress in it and that sort of stuff. I don't want it. So this is 60 millimeters. So it's going to 4 times 48 to 1 times 60, from 2 times 60 to 1 times 76. So this is a 3-inch inlet in the turbo. It's going in here. Outlet is 3.5 inch, and then this is 4 inch. So the inlet, air side inlet, is still 2.5 inch. That's the same as on the old turbo that I had. And the outlet of the compressor is still 2.5 inch. The inlet is still 4 inch, but yeah, the wheel is much bigger. So this is a Pulsar 7170G. So that's like a copy of a G40-1150. So it's a 71mm blade and a 70mm blade. So these turbos on paper could do, in the most perfect conditions, could do 1150 horsepower. But yeah, I don't really think anybody reads it. I've seen them running on 6 cylinders. BMW is running over 1000, like 1050 to 1100. But on this V8, yeah, I'm not going to run any near those numbers. My goal is between 700 and 800 and 1000 Newton meters max. That's yeah, I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to do a torque limit on 1000 Newton meters, because I also have other stuff that I want to keep in one piece. Yeah, and I like building stuff, but when something gets damaged, then yeah, the last 100 Newton meters, if you already have 1000, yeah, when it is enough. Okay, so also the, it's never enough of course, but in this case. So lambda sensor inlet welded in on around the same spot. So I did it a little bit higher than last time, so I can reach this position from the engine bay. So that's more perfect, I think. I made a double clamp in it. I think I showed before. This clamp is going to here, and that is a reason, because I can remove this piece of downpipe and have a better reach to the spark plugs. Last time it was a little bit shitty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with getting the installation on, but that will be in the next video. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you got any questions, leave some comments below the video and I'll try to answer them. I think the last video was almost 2 months ago, so it took me some time to... Yeah, I spent a lot of time making this exhaust system. I just wanted to be perfect and large enough to, if I have weird plans in the future to get even more power, then I don't have to do anything to this system. That's some of the main reason. I think I spoke to some people, and there's of course some people think, oh, it's too big, the runners are too big. Yeah, the people I trust, and I did some research, I think this is the best option for me, for this engine block with one exhaust valve, to have not too much back pressure. Of course I got double springs, I got the M113 K heads now, so I think it will be a big difference. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, comments below the video, or go to my website and send me a mail. Don't forget to have a look on janespietshop.com, the link is over here. And in the right corner is my logo, and you can click on it to see my main page. So thanks for watching, see you for the next one, bye bye.